What's on, what it do, what's poppin'? It's your boy Cash, DJ Cash the Dunn, the biggest dollar of them all. Y'all know what it is, what it ain't, and what it could be. The voice of the motherfucking culture, and you tuned in to another episode of the COOKOUT Pod. Clap it up. Man, y'all, I am super excited. I got a special guest with me today, guys. I'm gonna let her go ahead and introduce herself. I'm excited, y'all. I'm really excited. I have a great episode. I think y'all are gonna love it. It's very interesting. Very great story. Very great lady. She's so pretty. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
So, Angelica Robles, former undercover agent,
Mm-hmm.
Forbes published, best-selling author, executive producer, and mindset coach.
Ooh, I'm so excited. Miss Angie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you, for real.
Thanks for having me.
The first thing I have, you're from Houston, right?
I'm from Chicago, but I've been here since 2008.
Okay.
So I do live in Houston.
Okay. It's about 10 years.
Yeah. So it's home. Yeah.
How's it like? What's the different culture?
Oh my God. So
Was it a culture shock?
yes, Chicago is one of the most segregated cities in the world.
Really?
And everybody sticks in their own neighborhood. Blacks stay in the blacks, Hispanics stay in the Hispanics. Puerto Ricans don't even like the Mexicans.
Really?
Yes, it's a very, very segregated city.
That's crazy.
Unfortunately, yes.
That's crazy.
So when I came here and went to Walmart, everybody was, kumbaya. I was
right,
like,
friendly.
What?
But y'all mean up there anyway.
We are mean. Very mean, yeah.
Like, it's like we speak to each other in the store. Y'all don't speak.
No, we don't. I remember I was walking in the park one day and somebody said, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like,
yeah, like, why you That's how y'all be like, why are you talking to me?
Right. And then you guys open doors.
Yeah, and hold them for you.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Not me, though. And let me tell you something. I was holding a door for somebody the other day, and about 5 people gonna think they gonna come through the door.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, find somebody else to do it. I'm not finna stay here and hold the door for the whole goddamn parking lot.
Yeah, you're not on the paycheck there.
Right, I'm not the damn, what's the name of the people that hold doors? Butlers? What? I don't know.
Concierge, yeah.
How are you, though, Miss Angie?
I'm good.
How's traveling been? You booked and busy. You know what booked and busy means?
Yes.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah,
You're everywhere.
I stay in the air.
How's traveling?
It's good. It's slowed down a little bit for the holidays, but it's picking up right back up. So, yeah.
I've never been anywhere.
Nowhere?
Never even been on a plane not one time in my life.
Are you scared?
I think, but I don't think that's not why. I just don't really, I don't know, I've never just been anywhere. I never planned anything. I need to plan a trip.
You got to plan something for sure.
I don't want to be on a plane for too long, though. Where should I go? I
would say Mexico. Go to Mexico.
Oh, no.
Yes.
That can't be the first trip.
Look, 2-hour flight, margaritas, chips and salsa.
Okay.
Just
stay away from the hood.
There's no hood in Mexico. Go to like Cancun.
But when I travel, I want to go to the hood.
Get your feet in the sand.
You know how we got Fifth Ward out here?
Yeah.
Take me to Fifth Ward in Mexico.
Okay.
Take me to Fifth Ward in LA. Take me to the hood. I want to see where the bitches that's getting money and I want to see where they at.
Okay.
That's what time I'm on.
Okay,
let's do a quick icebreaker. So I have a game where I play like this or that. I'm gonna give you a few things. And you pick this or you pick that. Obviously,
okay.
Right. Okay. So heels or sneakers?
Heels all the way.
Yeah. Okay. Going out or staying home?
Staying home, because I'm in the public eye.
Yeah.
So staying home is like heaven.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one, traveling, working, having to travel, or staying home?
Traveling.
Okay.
For sure.
Thanksgiving or Christmas?
Oh my God.
Holiday season.
Thanksgiving.
Really? Why?
I think so, because the food, you just get like a variety of stuff. My Thanksgiving is Mexican and American food.
Yeah.
So
this is what I have to. Okay, so for Black people, we eat the same shit on Thanksgiving and Christmas. What y'all do?
We don't. We have tamales on Christmas and we have pozole. Like we do all the good
What's
stuff.
carne asada?
Carne asada?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just like
y'all ain't know I speak Spanish. Stop playing, yeah.
That's just grilled steak.
Oh.
That's all that it is.
It's just steak.
Just steak.
That's so funny. Okay. You like light liquor or dark liquor? Do you drink?
Yes. I only date black men. So
really?
Dark liquor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Period. Once you go black, you can't go
back.
Ooh. Gucci or Louis? Because I know you wear it.
Louis.
Okay.
Where's the bag? We were gonna have a bag on here.
Yeah, I should let you put it on the table. A great item. You like brunch dates or dinner dates? If a man was to take you out a date, would you rather him take you to brunch or dinner?
Dinner date, for sure.
Okay, yeah, so our ages are different. I think I would take somebody on a brunch date.
Okay.
But y'all, you're like age group, I'm sure y'all probably would like a dinner date. Nighttime.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because we get to dress up and spend a little bit more,
Okay.
Be grown and sexy. I'm over 40, by the way.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't look
Thank you.
You look like you're in your 30s.
Yeah, I just turned 41.
You damn near look like in your late 20s.
Thank you.
You look good, Miss Angie.
Yes, thank you.
Funny
I have
is
a really,
crazy.
really good self-care routine.
Tell me, I need it.
Which includes like immersing yourself in cold water.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Doing that. Too cold, I'm anemic. Okay, another game. Give me another little icebreaker.
Okay.
2 truths and a lie for the viewers. And then I'm going to try to guess the lie. So you give me 2, but you don't tell us what they are. You know how to play that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, of
okay.
course. Yeah, I'm
2
just
truths
thinking
and a
what I'm
lie.
going to tell you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, 2 truths and a lie.
Uh-huh.
Okay, played ping pong with Obama.
Okay.
I lived in Australia for 3 months.
Okay.
And I'm a millionaire.
All of those sound, being who you are, like they all sound fucking true. So I don't know. 2 truths and a lie. I really do believe you're a millionaire, truly. And I think you lived in Australia. I don't think you've seen the president. If you've seen the president, I don't think you played ping pong with him. Tell me, tell the viewers what it is, please.
It's a second one. I actually lived in Australia, but it was only 2 months. I got you.
What? WTF?
Yeah.
Tell me about Obama!
So when Obama went into office.
My president is black!
Yes, he really is. And let me tell you guys this, because this is a really good, just cool thing. So my brother got to meet Obama, and then I got to meet him as well. So it's dope. But what had happened was I was actually in the White House working, because I work for the government. So I was doing national security at the time. And there was an event, and I just happened to be there. And you know how there's a lot of clips where they're like hugging people and like, shaking hands?
Yeah.
Well, mine was he's gonna
Ping
pong, and you have to hit it back. And I would just happen to be there, and they're like, you hit the one back. And I was like, bet.
That's cool, bro.
Yeah, right?
That's
I love Michelle. I love her. I want her to run for president, but I have all her books. I have his books. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with the Obamas.
Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to the Obamas.
Yes.
Shout out to the real president.
And they're also from Chicago too.
Really?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Chi. Our producers from Chi Rec, but we ain't gonna get too much because y'all got a lot going on down there. A little too much. I don't think I always say when I become like an artist or something, I don't think I want to go to Chicago. I don't want none of my shows. I don't want nothing to be down there and no Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad, homie.
St. Louis.
He said St. Louis, not Chicago. My bad, y'all. All right, let's get into it, Miss Angie. Okay, so you said you're from Chicago. Talk to me about that. Like, how was growing up in Chicago? What was that like for you?
It was hard. I grew up in the hood, so Mexican hood, because God knows I say hood and everybody automatically thinks black.
Right. Just everywhere.
Yeah. But no, there's a hood, there's a black hood, there's a Hispanic hood. So I grew up in the Mexican hood, went to Moore East. Moore East had the highest pregnancy rate in the country when I graduated college or high school. So for those that like math, I graduated high school in 2001. So
don't look at me because I skipped math class. I can't tell. All I can do is count a bankroll. Don't give me shit else.
But gang violence, lots of killings and shootings and all of that. That was part of our day-to-day life. Running under the table because there was a shooting going on. That was part of our day-to-day. We grew up like that. During school. Wow. Yeah, during school, outside of school. And keep in mind, Chicago has a huge gang-related just atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gangs. There's a lot of, the whole color things, a lot of wars going on. And then, of course, the mafia is still alive. And a lot of people don't talk about it, but it's very much alive in Chicago. And so my friend was murdered, dismembered, and decapitated when I was 15. So that incident led me to want to work for the government because it fucked me up mentally and emotionally.
Talk to me about that though. So you said your friend was murdered by the.
She was murdered by the cartel, and then most cartel members are usually gang members anyway. But she went on a first date, and her first date, they were after him, and they killed her because she was with him. So I was actually dating her brother at the time. So we were little high school sweethearts.
Man.
So it was his older sister.
Damn, that's like a gruesome story.
It is a gruesome story. It ended up being one of the worst crimes in history, in Chicago history. You could look it up, and it's pretty bad. The guy ended up getting the death penalty, but then in 2006, the governor abolished the death penalty in Chicago or Illinois. So now he's just sits on death row for life
until he dies.
Until he dies.
Man. are you like in still communication with the boyfriend, or do y'all?
Yeah, our families are still in contact.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then of course, the killer is, what people don't realize is when people are in jail,
Mhm.
they're getting degrees, they're making money. Like he's selling drawings and stuff like that online,
Really?
and people buy them.
Really?
Because there's a huge culture of people who are obsessed with criminals and serial killers.
Yeah.
And people be marrying them and all that type of stuff.
Sickos.
Yeah, and then they write to them because they just have this crazy obsession.
That's like the show, like, what is it, Living Locked Up? The girls they
Yeah.
like talk to the guys that are
Yeah.
in jail. That's
Oh, yeah.
nuts.
But here's the thing: what you have in jail that you don't have in real life is time. You got a lot of time,
Yeah.
so you can start businesses. You can start making money. A lot of these people in jail are making money and have businesses, and they get themselves little girlfriends because the little girlfriends then run them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really crazy when you think about it, though.
Yeah, because think about it. All you have is time.
My uncle in jail. He in jail for 40 years. I wonder what his ass doing in there.
Go find out.
He better come back with some shit. You in there for a minute. You need to
Right.
come back with something.
That would be a good interview.
My uncle.
Yeah, like what you learn.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'll be dead by the time he get out. So this shit'll be gone.
What your uncle do?
Ooh, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I really don't even know. I was young. Allegedly, I guess, he had a little something with a cop going on. He was going to jail. He didn't want to go to jail. He started tussling with the cop and try to take the cop's gun. I don't know.
Okay.
No.
40 years.
Allegedly.
Wow.
Yeah. So it must have been some more shit that they
Yeah.
didn't maybe tell us about. But yeah, 40 years. And that was in like 2000 or something.
It's a long time.
Mm-hmm. He's gone.
Right.
Feel bad for him. Free my motherfucking uncle. Okay. With growing up in Chicago, when did you leave? Growing up from childhood, tell me about like childhood and then high school and after leaving.
High school was horrible. So I can't even imagine how kids in high school even make it because we didn't have social media back then.
Yeah.
And so now you have social media and people start rumors on you on social media.
Yeah.
And then you got to deal with social media. But back then we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have Instagram, we didn't have any of that.
You saw all of that emerge.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Like how you there was nothing when you were. I'm 25. There was there was nothing when you were in high school or middle school. Like
Facebook came out when I was a freshman in college.
Mm-hmm.
That's when.
Were you on MySpace?
Yes. So I was on MySpace. So that literally was what, like 2002.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You literally saw everything, like no social media.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is people still talk. And rumors still get around.
Yeah.
So even without social media, life in high school sucked because people are always talking about you.
That's crazy.
So I can't even imagine now. Suicide rates are through the roof now.
Yeah, they are for children.
Because of social media. So it sucks, but yeah.
And it's so crazy because just as quickly as a rumor would spread word of mouth back then, there's the same on social media. This is like off grid,
but it's just fire.
Right. This kind of like off grid, but just like, I don't know if you know, but everybody thought Sierra had a dick when we were younger. But social media wasn't a thing. So how did that spread from state to state? Like, how was that a rumor for everywhere?
Wow. Well, they say when you hear something and then it goes down 3 ways, it gets like totally converted to something else.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's crazy though.
Like maybe it started with like a third finger and it ended up being a dick at the end.
That's hilarious.
I mean,
that's hilarious. Okay, so you wrote a book. It's bestseller now. The book is called Through My Brown Eyes.
Through These Brown Eyes.
I see. I didn't want to fuck up like the man did. I wanted to say it right.
Oh yeah.
And I did it any fucking way.
Natasha Graciano did too, but it's okay.
Talk to us about that. Like tell me what was the moment in your life that like made you say, okay, I need to write a book?
So I had been tinkering with the idea of writing a book for years.
Okay.
Because I have such an interesting story
Mm-hmm.
and I just have a crazy, lots of traumatic events that led up to me working for the government. But it was really COVID that kind of threw me out there to write it because I was on a podcast with one of my friends and Mike Wilkinson, shout out to Mr. Wilkinson in London. And I was on his podcast and he was about to release his book. And he said, you know what? You should really write your story. And I'm like, well, I got nothing else to do because we were at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up getting a contract through Hasmark, who is my publishing company. And then I ended up writing my book in 3 weeks.
What was the most challenging part of like writing a book? Just you woke up one day, the friend said you should write a book, you started doing it. What was like the most challenging part of the process?
The most challenging part for me was getting all the trauma out on paper. And I say this to people, don't compare yourself to other writers, because mine took 3 weeks. But the reason why mine took 3 weeks is I needed to get all this shit out of my brain and onto paper, because it's so traumatic. And there's a lot of shit in there that a lot of people don't want to talk about. I talk about, breaking generational curses. I talk about my grandfather trying to rape me. I talk about a lot of stuff. I talk about abortion. I talk about, losing my virginity. I talk about a lot of things that are very taboo in brown and black culture. And I kind of was like, let me just write this. And if people don't like it, oh well. But at least I'm saying my truth. And maybe one person will be inspired by me telling my story.
And they will, yeah.
And the crazy thing is, writing my book ended up uncovering my ex-husband's secret. Because it triggered him to tell me his truth. So even if I didn't sell any books, it did what it had to do with that one person.
Yeah.
Which uncovered a whole new, lie. That a 10-year lie.
Yeah, literally. And we're gonna touch, like, I know they don't know, but we're gonna talk about that. So here's the thing: give me something, not give me something, but tell me some of the traumas, if you don't mind sharing a little something that's maybe not in the book, or that made you drop the conclusion of, I've been through a lot. This is what I've been through. Like, tell me some of the hardships that you've been through just growing up, some traumas that you had to overcome, some obstacles that you had to overcome.
I mean, it's very simple. So
that's a part of your story.
So as a child, I was sexually molested, and I didn't talk about it until I ended up in therapy, because I was suicidal after my friend was murdered. So something that had happened when I was 3 didn't get dealt with until I was 17.
My God.
But the 17-year-old in me was now in therapy. And, therapy is very taboo for brown and black communities, because, God forbid, none of us need it, right?
Right.
And so I remember the therapist saying, we're going to deal with everything in this room. And we're going to deal with your depression. We're going to deal with your suicidal thoughts. And we're going to deal with the fact that your grandfather tried to rape you, because my grandfather tried to rape me. And I remember talking about it, but in my family, nobody wanted to say anything. It's almost like they knew something was up, but they wanted to hide it.
That happens a lot in black families.
It happens a lot. Like, nothing happened. Uncle did something or auntie did something.
And they still are at the functions.
And they're still at the functions, and everybody acts like nothing happened last week. So-and-so got in a fight and busted somebody's face. And then the next week, everybody's
We're
cool.
fine, right?
Everybody's fine. And then you get drunk again, and then it comes out like something that happened years later.
That's crazy.
Even when I went to go get married, my cousin was like, you can't sit so-and-so with so-and-so because
of the drama,
did 20 years ago. And I'm like,
why y'all still holding on to shit from 20 years ago?
Wait, what? I didn't even know about this stuff. And she's like, oh yeah, there's a whole plan that you have to go by. And I'm like, dang.
People are crazy. Like, just get over shit.
They hold resentment. And it's very normal in our culture, in black and brown communities.
Yeah, clearly it's universal.
We have this resentment shit that we can't get over. And then it comes out whenever, our buttons are pressed. Like, press C1. And then your shit just pops off.
Right.
And you're talking about something that happened 20 years ago. And you're like,
what the fuck? Yeah, like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. But that's what I tell people, like, get therapy. Therapy, like, a lot of people my age are against it. Like, they can't tell me about me. They can't, like, it's nothing they can do. Yes, it is. Right. Go get some help. Go get therapy. I'm telling you.
Yes.
It works.
It does work. Especially in our communities.
Truly.
Because, it's crazy. I say this every single time. I work out. So I post pictures of me at the gym every single day. And everybody's like, yeah, girl. But if I post a picture at the therapist's office, like, look where I'm at, I'm crazy.
Right. Like, God forbid, that's the thing.
What's wrong with her? And it's not celebrated. And we're weaponized with, oh, there's something wrong with you. You got to go to a therapist. What's wrong with you? You're crazy.
Right.
But in turn, we're taking care of our mental health.
Truly.
And we're trying to better ourselves, and break our mold from this generational curse.
Truly.
There's nothing wrong with us. Therapy doesn't work, I had my kids in therapy.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it works. I'm telling you, you're not crazy. I'm telling you, it's not anything wrong with you. It's not like a like, it's not, you're not nuts. You're not nuts. So, right. You're not the problem.
You're the
like,
solution.
Literally, and go get, it's okay. It's 1,000 people literally sitting in therapy like myself and like Miss Angie that are like mentally okay. You're not crazy for going to therapy. Right. You're just needing somebody to help you through the things that you don't know how to work through, like suppressing feelings, and so that shit is real.
Yeah.
Then you done blew up or something at the damn job. Now you done lost your job because you done bust the boss in the head.
Right. Yeah, because you lost control. Right.
Go get therapy. You're hearing it from us.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the book, writing the book and all that you've been through, you're writing this book, and so you say that. Tell me about the husband. Bring the ex-husband. Where does he come into play when you're writing the book? How was that process?
Okay, so let me.
How did he? Did you tell him like?
Yeah, so let me give you guys backstory because I've told this story so many times and everybody's the jaw drops. So when COVID hit, I had 6 contracts. So I was doing internal affairs and interrogations for 6 different government agencies.
Okay.
And when COVID hit, everything was done. So I went and got another job because I was like, well, I'm not working anymore. And I went and I was working at the DEA office. So I was working in the wire room at the DEA office. So if you guys know what that is, you just sit around and you listen to wiretaps all day long. And it's 24 hours because shit goes down all the time. And I wrote the book. And my ex-husband was the type of man that said, red flag number 1, that said, we're not going to talk about anything of our past. We're going to start our relationship from here on. I know, red flag.
That's crazy.
Red flag. So I was like,
ladies, listen. If a man come and say some shit like that, red flag number 1.
Red flag number 1. So I was like, okay, weird, but let's just go with it. So when I wrote the book, there was a lot of stuff in there that he didn't know about. And so he said, let me read the transcript before it goes to editing. So I said,
why though? That's my question. Why did he want to read it?
I think he was curious to see what I was writing. In fact, if I was writing anything about him, which I did. And so he read the transcript, came home, and the story goes like this. I was coming home from the DA office, and I was working night shift. So it was like 6 a.m.
Okay.
And he says, I need to talk to you. And I said, bro, my eyes are crossed.
I just got off.
I just got off. I was breastfeeding my son at the time. So my shit was like about to pop out. And then he's like, no, I need to talk to you. So then he sits me down and he tells me, I read your book and it triggered me to tell you my truth. So I said, okay, well, come on. What is it? And he was like, oh, this isn't going to go well. And I said, okay, well, tell me what it is. So in my mind, I thought he got some bitch pregnant. And the girl's having a baby. Like, that's where my mind went.
Shit. Yeah.
That's where my mind went. Yeah, but then he tells me...
Way far from that.
Way far from that. He says, my family and I have been part of the Mexican cartel. So I'm like... I was like, what? So in that moment, I kid you not, it was like a split second where I reached for my gun. Because I had my gun on me. I went like this, and I'm like, I'm going to kill him and have the government cover it. And then... in a split second, I thought, wait a minute, you are an expert in reading people and you're an expert in getting information out of criminals. Do what you do best and interrogate them.
Right.
So like I said, okay, separate wife from interrogator. So I switched and I literally changed that form of thought that I was not his wife and I was interrogating him. And then I literally sat back and said, tell me more. And in 2 hours, he literally just told me everything. Really?
Okay, let me stop you real quick. So this year, at this point, what year is it?
So this is February of 2021.
So you
the book has been out for 2 years.
Okay, you were in the FBI from 2005 until 2013.
Yeah.
So you had almost 10 years of experience, and you just turned that switch on and used that to literally
because I've been
more information out of him.
Right, I've been doing this for 18 years. I'm considered an expert in my field, and when it hits that close to home, any woman would have gotten up and probably killed the guy.
Yeah.
But I literally had been in this situation with other people that weren't so close to me, but I'm really good at detaching my emotions from situations. So at this point, I had to detach my emotion as a wife and switch it into as he was a perpetrator.
Yeah.
And it
at
worked.
This point.
Because I didn't even have to say anything. He literally was in need of just letting it all out. Imagine holding a secret for 10 years from your wife, like the person that you're sleeping next to every single day and share children with and a life with.
So, okay, just to go back to the story of your friend, did he know that prior to reading the transcript?
He knew that. There is bits and pieces that he did know because I had been on other podcasts, but the entirety of the book and how I presented it triggered him to tell his truth because I was airing out family secrets. I was airing out, government stuff that I saw. I was airing out trauma. So the book triggered him to want to free his mind, if that makes sense.
That's crazy.
So when he tells me this, I said, you realize I have to report this.
I got to report this shit.
Right. And then a lot of people at this point say, oh, she's not a ride or die. And I'm like, but you guys don't get it. when you are a cartel wife, you choose to be a cartel wife.
Right.
I
I'm
never,
under oath.
Right. But I never got the chance to choose whether I want to be a cartel wife.
Because you didn't fucking tell me shit.
Right. So I reported it, and I will never forget this. It must have felt like 5 minutes of silence when I reported it to my superior, because she was like, how did this happen? And how did somebody drop the ball? Because as a federal agent, a federal investigator, you get investigated every 5 years, because I had a top secret clearance. So your family gets investigated, everybody gets investigated. So
he was good.
Somebody dropped the ball. Yeah.
Okay, how so I don't know if I missed it, but give the viewers the time span of how long y'all were married until he told you that.
10 years. We were together 10
years, Miss Angie?
Right. But, and here's the thing, right? Because people are like, oh, you were in love and you didn't see certain red flags. There was certain red flags there, but keep in mind, he grew up in the cartel. So in my mind, I had to look at the child in him, because I had to have compassion for him, because he didn't choose to be part of the cartel. He grew up as a cartel child. So for those that watched Ozark, those kids never chose to be part of the cartel. They kind of were thrown into it. So he, in the book I talk about this, is his car had compartments where they were putting cocaine, and he had to go drop off the cocaine and pick up money.
Really?
He was a high school kid.
Really?
He was literally, going to soccer practice or baseball practice, and then he had to do runs and pick up money and stuff. So it became part of his life. It became the norm. So the only way that I was able to have compassion was, I grew up in the hood. So hearing gunshots for me was normal.
Right.
Where it might not be normal for people that grew up in a different environment.
Right.
So that was the only way that I was able to understand that, drugs and money, sex, stealing, lying was part of his childhood, because his father was doing it.
That just baffles me. So clearly, it's like you don't get out that shit. So like,
right?
Was he? You think he was still like doing undercover work? Like what the 10 years? So how do you not have a clue?
Yeah, right. Well, so this is up for interpretation, right? And a lot of it will be in book 2, because I'm writing book 2, which is a continuation of book 1.
Don't kill me. I still need to read it.
Right.
I work a lot.
No,
Send me a free copy. I'm reading.
It's on Audible too.
So I can listen to you read it. Okay.
So
I'm gonna do that.
A lot of people think that, we watch movies, we watch shows. Everybody thinks cartel is killing people,
right?
Smuggling money and smuggling drugs. Cartel members.
Let me stop you. For the people, because like me, I really don't know a lot about the cartel. Right. Could you kind of elaborate on that?
So cartel members is white collar crime.
Okay.
These are millionaires. They're business owners. They're involved with business owners. They're buying buildings in Houston. They're buying businesses in Houston. They are running legitimate businesses, but they're washing cartel money through these businesses.
Right.
Kind of like the mafia. It's like people knew that the mafia was there, but they could never pin them down because they were running legit businesses. Now, what they were doing with the money within the business, then that was, it's called white collar crime. So embezzlement, tax evasion, that's white collar crime. When you're dealing with lots of money, it's not like blue collar crime. A lot of people think that cartel is blue collar crime, which is, the basic stuff, the stealing, the robbery, stuff like that. It's not. These are huge corporations that are involved with cartel that have money. So not to give too much away, but my ex-husband is a commercial real estate broker. So
wow.
Who do you think is buying buildings in Houston? Who has money? Right. Who has money to be buying buildings?
I've heard the cartel is pretty big out here.
Right. Of course. It's huge because we're right next to the border. And Houston is pretty much the entry channel for cartel.
Really?
Yeah. And so one of the stories that I did say in the book is his uncle was moving $1 million worth of cocaine from Houston to Boston and was killed, murdered, dismembered, and decapitated, just like my friend.
Like your friend.
So, right? So isn't it crazy how everything just kind of, it's like circled around.
It is.
Right? And so then that's when he told me his father ended up losing $1 million. And then allegedly they got out.
Again.
There's only 2 ways you get out.
Yeah.
You either get killed or you become part of witness protection program.
So his dad's in a witness protection.
Allegedly, right? But I feel like that's up in interpretation. But one thing I will tell you is I was working for the DEA office when this all went down, and there was talk that there might have been, something in regards to the witness protection program.
Wow.
But there's a lot that I still don't know about the story because he didn't share with
Tell
me.
you, right.
But what he did share, he signed an authorization for me to put in the book, or else I would have been sued by them.
How'd you get him to do that?
So during the divorce,
Clearly he's not smart. I wouldn't sign
well,
shit.
here's the thing. He is smart because I told him I wasn't going to take anything, and he kept everything, and he kept the house, and I literally took the kids and left. But he also, when he signed the authorization,
You didn't take a dime?
No.
You let that bastard take everything?
Yeah, but here's why. I'll tell you why. Because the end game is bigger than the little game.
Okay.
The little game was, he was like, "Oh, your stupid little book. He signed the authorization. I hit bestseller. Then I sold the story to Hollywood."
Now look at my stupid little book.
Right. You get what I'm saying? So
That's so funny.
a feature film in Hollywood is worth more than what he can ever bring.
Right.
So
and the house and the car and whatever.
Right. And all that other shit.
I get it.
Right. So you have to think about the bigger picture here.
You're smart.
The fact that he signed that authorization, even my publishing company said he needs to sign the authorization or we cannot publish the book because then we're all liable for being sued, the publishing company and me. But he signed it because he was like, yeah, this book is shit.
He didn't think it was going to, that's crazy though.
And then it hit.
I bet you he kicking himself in the ass.
Yeah. And his family did, I'm sure they're upset and I'm sure they still want to sue, but I have that piece of paper. They can't do anything because the piece of paper said, right. The piece of paper said the book and any projects that come off the book in bold print.
Period.
So anything that comes off the book would be the movies, the Netflix series, anything that comes off the book is included in the contract. So
signed, sealed, and fucking delivered.
Right. So, as women, we got to look at the bigger picture and we have to be smarter, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, he fucked me over for 10 years and lied to me, but it's like, I literally, like Beyonce said, I literally made fucking lemonade out of these lemons I was fucking served.
So here's my thing, like within 10 years, there was nothing like his family. Did you talk to his family? Were y'all close? Like you didn't speculate any fucking thing?
I did speculate. There was red flags that I chose to ignore. And I take full accountability, right? Because when you have a child with a man, you stay as a mother. You stay for the children.
You want a family. I get it.
Bullshit. But I mean, they own a lot of land. They own like 1,400 acres of land.
Wow.
Like, who has 1,400 acres with a vending company business? That was the business he was in. The father was in here in Houston, a vending company business.
Really?
They were money laundering. They were washing money and money laundering through a vending company business when vending machines were big back in the day.
Did y'all get along? Like, how was the dynamic between you two?
The father never liked me. The father hated me. In fact, the day of my
That's peculiar.
Wedding, yeah, of course. Because the day of my wedding, I tried to call
because you're an FBI agent.
Yeah. He never wanted
That's why.
Me. Right.
You worked before the marriage, right?
Because he was like, she's going to fuck us over. And I remember the day of my wedding, I say this in the book, and even my best friend who I went up to, I was like, I'm calling this wedding off. She convinced me not to. So she got a full role in the movie because there was a part where I tried calling off this fancy ass wedding we were having. And
Why?
She was like, no, he's perfect. Because I knew in my gut I shouldn't have married him.
Really?
I was trying to call the wedding off.
On wedding day?
On the wedding day.
Why? What was if you don't mind shit, what was the...
I knew, what was
the circumstance?
Yeah, verbatim. This is what I told my best friend, and Gabrielle's going to watch this. But I literally told her, I'm afraid he's going to turn out just like his father. And sure enough, he did everything that his father did to his mother. Lie, cheat, and steal.
Wow.
So it's like, how they say you can only be the man that you're taught to be? So it's like he can only be the man that he saw his father be.
That's true.
So there was lying, there was cheating, there was stealing. So it's like he did the exact same thing to me that his father did to his mother.
Man.
But his mother is a totally different breed of a woman because she was aware that this was going on. She knew there was money. She knew there was drugs. She knew there was hoes. She knew all this, but she chose to stay.
Yeah.
So.
Like most women do.
Like most women do.
So I heard you mention that the dad said some crazy shit on the wedding day. You heard him say
yeah. So the dad pretty much said, "Don't marry her. She's gonna fuck us over." That was words verbatim, and that's when I decided to call the wedding off. And my best friend, who I went up to, who was in the wedding party, she's like, "No." I remember she took me by the window and was like, "Look at all these people. Look at all these flowers. Look at all this that you guys did." And she convinced me to go through with it, and I did. But that's going to be one of the major scenes in the movie. Me trying to call off the wedding.
That to hear him say that though on your wedding day that she's gonna fuck us over.
Well, here's the thing: the dad's a millionaire, and he gave us 0 cents for the wedding.
What?
Yeah, we paid the wedding on our own. Him and I did.
And he does fucking hate y'all then.
Yeah, we never got along ever.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
He's like crazy Cuban, like crazy culturally Cuban, where women stay at home and wash dishes and don't work and make any money.
Yo,
I was literally like the demon in his world.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Not you're a millionaire and you didn't give your children, like, usually the dad pays for the wedding, right?
Right. Especially in a Hispanic, because he's Cuban in a Hispanic culture.
That's crazy, Miss Angie.
Right. It is crazy. I know.
Okay, so
but it made the film. It's going to be one of the major scenes in the film.
Okay, so can you like talk a little bit about that? Like, is that in the works?
Yeah. So there was a writer's strike, and so that put us back 6 months. So just to give you a little timeline, because I want people to understand that you can do shit, you can get to shit, you can get to levels that you only dream of. Like, I'm a little brown girl from the hood, and look at me now. I'm executive producer of a featured film in Hollywood, and I sold my story.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And what I always say is, don't ever stop dreaming. Yeah. Because when you put action into dreams, they become a reality. And so I ended up selling my story to Hollywood and getting a signed, sealed, and delivered contract. And I negotiated myself as an executive producer to have hands in it. So it's being produced. It's called Veritas, which means the truth in Latin. And then, of course, I can't say the actors yet because we haven't fully signed contracts with them yet. But it is, the writers are writing right now, and it is being funded by one of Hollywood's biggest investors. So
I want to go to the premiere.
Of course, yes.
Where is it? Where do you think it's gonna be?
LA, of course, LA.
Yeah, I want to come for sure.
Yeah, my book release party was in LA. It wasn't even here in Houston.
Okay.
We were supposed to have one here and in Chicago, but with COVID and we can only invite 25 people, all that. So we ended up having one in LA. So
the book emerged during COVID season.
Yeah. So because February 21, I wrote, the book was done like January of 21. I published November of 21. And then a year later, I signed the deal. So November of 21, it hit bestseller. And then I landed the movie deal a year later.
Wow.
So August of 22. I'm
excited for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, okay, two more things. We're going to get out of here. Tell me about, like, the FBI work. Like, how'd you get into that? And then what did you do exactly?
Right. So I always tell this to people. People don't go work for the government because they watch the movie and they think it's cool. People work for the government because there's a story behind it. I didn't get up one day and say, I'm going to go be an investigator and do undercover work. It was the pain that I went through. My own pain chose my career, because whenever my friend was murdered, I literally was on a mission to find out why people kill people in this manner.
Yeah.
Like, he literally cut her head off with a samurai sword.
My God.
Like, crazy stuff like this. And so I went into the government to be a profiler, and I ended up doing undercover work. I did undercover work for 2 years. I did corporate fraud.
Really?
So the type of shit I did was old school surveillance, where you're in a car.
Like in a van with the binoculars?
In a van, yes. Because here's the thing. We didn't
hide in the bushes?
Right. Because we didn't have smartphones back then.
Well, yeah.
Now, we can just hack into your computer, hack into your phone. We know where you're at because you're posting all day long.
Yeah.
And you're saying, oh, I'm here, and you're tagging everything. Now people could do surveillance from their house behind a screen.
Really?
But back then, we didn't have smartphones. The first smartphone didn't come out till 2006, which was the first Apple phone. So I tell people, our surveillance is hardcore surveillance, old school work, where you're in the van with the camera, watching and following people around, hiding in the bushes type shit.
That's crazy.
That's undercover work. So I did that for 2 years, and I traveled everywhere. And it was corporate fraud. So a lot of it is cartel based. And then once I did the two years undercover, then I started being the interrogator. So I was no longer out in the field, and I was now in the room.
Okay. With
terrorists, murderers, terrorists, so everything, the scum of the earth.
Could you like share some of that? Like some of the people that you interrogated? Like, so give me a few of those stories.
Yeah, so a lot of the guys I interrogated were were so crazy that they were considered unfit to stand trial. So
Really?
not guilty due to insanity. That's like an actual thing.
Were they really crazy? You know, some people like to pull that shit, so they ain't gotta go to jail.
Anybody that does stuff like that is not all there for sure.
Truly.
I mean, you really have no heart at this point. But there was one guy who, and I said this in another podcast and people ran with it. He was fired from his job and he then came back and set the boss on fire and threw him over a balcony.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. Like shit like that.
That's crazy.
You know when you say
that's movie shit.
Well, you know when people say people snap? Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that's temporary insanity.
Yeah. But I mean, when you snap and when you get mad, your brain just literally goes to a different realm.
And that's why people can't remember the shit that they did in that moment.
Right, right. The same thing happened to my friend that was murdered here. So I talk about this in the book. I had my friend, Devon Wade. He was a PhD student at NYU at the time and had graduated from LSU. Just aspiring freaking star. Bun B, which I know you want on this podcast. So Bun B. And
Bun B, come holler at your nephew.
Bun B was actually at Devon Wade's funeral.
Really?
And his boyfriend killed him and shot him in the head.
Really?
Because he broke up with him. And before he got killed, they had been at my house on dinner. So I was hosting them at my house for dinner, both Devon and his boyfriend.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember telling my husband at the time, because this happened before everything went down, I was like, you literally met your first killer. He was sitting at our dining room table.
Wow.
And then 2 weeks later, he killed Devon and shot him in the head and killed him because he broke up with him.
That's crazy. Like, just, I almost got chills. That's crazy that you were with them and was in his presence, and then he like do some shit like that 2 weeks later.
Between them. Yeah, it was crazy. And then I remember so he ran away. And then his name was Mario. You can look it up. This all happened in Houston.
Okay.
And he ran away and then he turned himself in and they had asked him why he did it. And he said, I literally can't even remember me pulling the trigger, which is that same moment that you literally just snap and your anger just takes over you.
And that's why people need therapy so they don't get to that point.
Therapy. And then somebody posted bail on him, right? Because he was up for murder. He was charged with murder in the first degree.
My God.
And he killed himself. He killed himself before he had to go to trial. So now Devon's mother and Mario's mother now shared in each other's grief because both of their sons are now gone.
I hate that. Like my thing, I know this probably sounds crazy,
and they were both black, successful males. One was a PhD student. The other one, Mario, was an electrical engineer.
That's crazy. I hate hearing stories that like people are killed and then the person turns around and kills himself. It's like, why just didn't start with yourself in the beginning?
Right.
Why you would have, I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but it's like
crazy, right? But,
why go kill somebody and then kill yourself? Just start with you.
But then think about like how much pain this boy was in, because they were both like in their 20s, 30s. How much pain,
which is young,
right? How much pain he was in to take his own life. That's the better option,
right?
Than going to jail for life,
right?
Or possibly getting the death penalty, because Texas don't play with first degree murder.
Right.
We still have the death penalty.
And I was going to say we still have the death penalty in place.
I think they say
crazy
15 people get killed every day in Huntsville.
My God, that's crazy.
And I think it's not even a day. I think it's like every hour or something crazy.
That's nuts. Okay. Yeah. Last thing, we're about to get out of here, Miss Angie. How are you liking it?
Good. I love it. This is my vibe.
I should have brought us a little bottle so we could take a little shots, but I was trying to be professional. I said, let me leave the liquor at home and really do it one-on-one, because we be turning the other time on here.
For sure.
Okay, so tell me this. We're about to get out of here. Like, how being your experience with being married, married to somebody that was in the cartel, like what is your take? Are you still like looking for love or?
For sure. Yeah. So I've been single for 3 years, very single. And, but I just have high standards now. And really now I think, because everybody says the same thing. How could you not see it? And I said, of course I saw red flags, but when you're a mother and you're raising kids with that same person, you start thinking about staying in a relationship. Because I tried to divorce him I tried to call off the wedding, right? There was that. And then I tried to divorce him a year later, but I ended up pregnant with my daughter. But I do, yes. I always believe in love. I think, I'm a businesswoman. I've built an empire. And this is one thing that I realized. What I didn't build with him in 10 years, I built without him in 3 years.
Right.
So whenever you have the right person in your corner,
You're right.
you literally just elevate and grow. And so now I'm at a point where I'm looking for the right person to really come in and like
just add on to what you
not even that. Come and run shit.
Period.
I'm tired. I'm tired. Let me put my foot up. You go run shit.
A real man. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And so now I'm hopeful and I haven't lost my, thought process of wanting to find love. So yeah. I'm actively dating.
Okay. This just popped in my head. If you don't want to answer, it's fine. The kids, how old are the kids?
The kids are 8 and 5.
Okay. How is the dynamic with the dad? Are y'all like amicable?
Yeah. So I obviously have more custody of the kids, but we are amicable. We actually have a great relationship.
Okay.
And we have to, we're
He just mad at you. Wrote a book?
I think he's over it now.
Okay.
And you know what? This is a crazy part. So people listen. His job was he was elevated from the book because he is in an industry where it's like Wolf on Wall Street, where like people are talking shit about you, you're still the man.
Right.
So he's a VP of a big company now. So none of that shit, because allegedly, everything is allegedly.
Right.
So it's like he actually blew up. So it worked out in both of our favors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to that was a question for me. I just wanted to know how the dynamic was between.
It's all good. Yeah, we're really
okay.
Good
that's what's up. That's what's up. At least you're not
no
beefed up.
No.
That's
no,
good,
and then keep in mind, like he's gonna keep us safe because
at the end of the day,
he's not gonna let anything happen to his kids.
Yeah, right. I love that though. I love that.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate you for coming through, Miss Angie. We're gonna play one more game and we're out of here.
Okay.
It's this or that, but it's just some different questions this time. Okay. So you like steak or lamb chops?
Oh God, steak.
Houston or Dallas?
Houston.
Okay. How do you get your steak?
Medium rare.
Okay.
Yeah, medium
I'm medium well. I want to go to medium. I really want to try medium.
Oh yeah, medium is bomb.
I don't know about rare now. I got a little weak stomach. I don't know if I can take a little rare.
I know, a little blood in there.
I can't do that one.
Seeping blood.
Okay, you like the Galleria or Baybrook?
Galleria. I've never been to Baybrook.
No?
Should I go?
I think you should.
Okay.
I like Baybrook. You like Baybrook, Naya?
Really? Okay.
10 out of 10 for me. That's the one that's outside, right? Yeah, I love it. I think you should.
Where's that at? In Baybrook.
Wait, I don't go nowhere without GPS.
It's literally like Baybrook area. It's
like League City type. Yeah. Okay, I think I passed by it, but I never been. I gotta go.
Outside park and then
but do they got like the Chanel and the Louis and all that?
Do they have? I don't know. Do they have name brand in Baybrook?
Oh no. Yeah, no.
Not like Chanel. Well, yeah.
Gallery
I
all the way. Yes. No.
That's so funny. Well, that's all I have.
Okay.
That's it. Well, Miss Angie, I truly appreciate you for coming. Y'all, I gotta tell y'all, go follow Miss Angie and tell her thank you. Tell her thank you for the done. Tell her thank you for the cookout. She came for free, and I appreciate her. You other hoes gotta pay.
Right.
Period. But no, I appreciate you so much. I thank you. You're so pretty. I really appreciate you. I love your story. When I first heard your story, I was mesmerized, literally. And I'm texting my friends like, I have to get this lady. And I didn't even think you were gonna DM. I DM people all the damn time.
Okay, before we leave, because I know we have to leave, I'll tell you this, okay? The way that I got my movie deal was from asking. I DM'd Natasha Graciano and she put me on her stage in Beverly Hills.
Really?
And blew me up. There was a lady sitting on her audience that connected me to my movie house. So when you ask, you shall receive. So
I appreciate that.
Yes,
I'm great. I'm happy, and I cannot wait until the movie. I'm ready to read the book. I'm definitely gonna get the book. I'm gonna get the audible because I want to hear. I work a lot, so I listen to stuff like in my head. So I'm definitely gonna get the book. I appreciate you coming. I'm excited for your movie. I'm excited for the book. I'm excited for book 2.
Yeah,
and all your new endeavors. I'm grateful that you came and stopped by and talked to us today. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And I would love to have you back. Bring me some of your friends. You got some interesting friends.
I really
for sure.
For sure, I will.
All righty. Well, Miss Angie, go ahead and tell the people, tell them who you are, tell them where they can find you, tell them where they can find the book, and we're going to get out of here.
Yeah. So you can just follow me at the Angelica Robles on Instagram. My website is angelicaroblesoficial.com, and everything is on there.
All right, y'all. Well, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and all that other shit they be telling y'all to do. It's the done. And I thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Cookout Pod. We're going to get up out of here. Ski!